do have these released to the public the week before open. So if you do want to get this content ahead of the crowd, you can get it inside the membership zone. Very separately, we do 3 live sessions in the members, and it does at the moment cover Divine Feminine by Element, questions mid-month and answers, as well as coaching, which we may also change that to element reads for karmics in intervals. And then at the end of the month, we cover the Divine Masculine by element. So if you want to come through and grab extra, you can. Very separately, we do have lives every Friday, and even through the silly season, we will be having those. So come through and join us. You do, in the 11/11 classic twin flame energy, do need to be subscribed to be part of that chat, and that's only to help the patrons who are actually being moderators in the channel to keep trolls out at bay so that the twin flames are protected. So come through and subscribe, and without further ado, we will get into the channeling for the karmic third party. Now, I have got close-ups. We are going to go into the channeling, and I do really see psychically, what I'm saying is there's some massive changes happening in the karmic's life at the moment. It's almost like they could be particularly having an identity crisis this week moving into December. And, you know, I really did see between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I was getting a lot of channelings coming where we're really facing our shadows. It's like, are we doing the things that we want to do? Does this situation feel in alignment? And we are in December going into that shadow energy of Mercury retrograde. So we're going to be reviewing those traditional energies. It could be for a lot of us in November. It was almost like we were making these New Year's resolutions, you know, ahead of the game, having to shift, having to realign. And I do see the karmic at the moment really questioning who the hell they bloody are. Forgetting who you are, conditions fall away, memories no longer define you. So I really feel inside of this karmic partnership, you know, something's not sitting, something is coming to an end. I feel for those that are in the connection, they are looking at things very differently, as though something's not feeling correct for them. And it's really quite hard to face your shadow. Some of them are looking back and saying, how the heck did I not see this? You know, why particularly? Let's grab a close-up. Why particularly, you know, in the past position here, did I not see the signs? And I feel they were ignoring their intuition, and they were ignoring the fact that, you know, maybe this was for a short time, not for a long time. And it doesn't mean to say all karmics were, you know, very short stints. Some were marriage partners. Especially from last month, we had the visitation of Sagittarius, which can be to do with divorces. And it's like, okay, does this really resonate with me? It could have been that we had superiors or hierarchies or individuals that were holding a position transcending over. But definitely this person here in the mix this week is sort of feeling, God, why didn't I see the writing on the wall? Something is changing. They feel like they lost themselves inside of a circumstance. It might have been quite obsessive for them. Now they're sort of sitting at, they're hitting a stalemate, and they're like, well, what actually is my goal here? You know, what is my dream? They're really feeling at the moment they're not living the dream. And I'm sensing as though they get these rumbles that changes are happening, but they're feeling very frightened. Every journey starts with a single step. I feel it's almost like a deer in the woods, and they're feeling like they don't actually know what to do in this commitment here. Some of them do know of the twin flame connection. Some of them are looking at their contract and commitments and what they feel commitments are with the marriage card. Some of them were going towards that or really pushing for that, but now they're kind of thinking, well, this isn't really feeling me. They kind of, excuse the metaphor, but they feel they're drinking crack. It's always tea time. Whenever we get this card coming through, it's like eating the same crap. It's really unmotivational. It's something that's not attractive. It's almost like they loathe each other in this connection. But the person is doing this eat, pray, repeat, and they feel quite disgusted by it all. There's boredom, there's reflection. There's things that have been going on for a long time that need addressing. This could be subjects they need to discuss. They feel that, you know, something has dragged out a long time. Something emotionally they've dragged out for a long time. I feel they're going to have a discussion, but I feel they're facing their shadow and they're actually feeling quite empty inside. We have hole in the soul. This person may have served a purpose for them through a point in the past. And it's quite, for some, it can be that they feel quite brokenhearted. Maybe there's regrets that they could have achieved things a whole lot better if they had been quite focused. But the ego involved in this and forgetting who they were, forgetting that they actually have needs too. I feel if this was an egotistical connection, and I don't mean that in a bad way, I mean more, I need this for a certain reason, or I'm afraid to challenge my dreams, and I'm very obsessed by this situation. I feel they're having a revelation that something has died in it. Something really isn't the same. And they're looking back, and the writing was on the wall. We're looking at cycles here with the feminine energy, looking back over their whole life and going, this has been a pattern that I've been living. Yes, I am looking at my life, and maybe I did want to do things and I didn't get to achieve them. And I'm sad about that. And even if I was to articulate it, I can't turn time back. I feel a lot of them are, it's the tradition is really fading away. What do I mean by that? The visions of life beyond death. It could be that time has run out. It could be that they are feeling that they spent their time doing things. And I do feel the karmic third parties at the moment can, for some, actually be making peace with either divine masculine or divine feminine, and accepting the fact that the spiritual connection is inevitably coming together, but also that they lost themselves inside this circumstance. I don't feel they quite know where things are going. I also feel that they're looking at this and the very entity of marriage, for instance, and it's like, look, all things. The song that comes to mind is one that came on my path, and it was Nelly Furtado, All Good Things Come to an End. And I was very nostalgic, and it was very bittersweet for me when that song came through, because I felt very disillusioned that something I'd placed my energy into. And it was when I had my first separation with my twin flame. I purged, I didn't get out of bed, and I was sitting there for, God, I think it was about 3 months. I got up to address my errands, and that was the only thing really keeping me in existence, but I just did not leave the bed. And I see the karmic third party doing this. It's almost like food don't taste that good. You don't really know what to do. You're disillusioned. And you can't see yourself doing this forever, but at the same time, it's bittersweet. There is an avoidance of changing direction with the lower row. And I see the dragonfly. Dragonfly is always ushering us into, at a foundation level, do something different. I think at first this person is sitting there going, okay, moving to Christmas, moving to New Year's, moving into 2023, I don't see myself doing this. I'm very upset about that. I don't quite know how to address this. I feel I have to deal with the devil in the detail. And it is the karmic acknowledging the fact that something isn't working, that, they're really unhappy, that they're not content with the way. And I think both parties in the mix of this are evolving very quickly and changing and noticing the difference. Now, it doesn't mean that if we're different, we can't be together. No, not at all. But if there is an attachment and codependent patterns and we can't grow with each other, yes, in fact, it is calling our soul to grow. And sometimes we do need to leave people behind in order for that to happen. I do feel even the revenge, notion, it's like they don't even have the energy for revenge at this point, or to fight. I feel it feels very unmotivational. They also feel that it's not fair to themselves as well, to other people. And that they also don't want to fail. So they could be holding on to this, even though deep down they know it's over. But there is a revelation that it's almost like stunned. So whatever's happened, which we're going to go into clarifiers, whatever has happened has stunned them. And I think it just could be for some, the very revelation. We'll go back to the top row as we clarify. The revelation that something's not working. And it's very painful for me. I do feel for some they could have a revelation towards a partner that, okay, how can I explain it? Let me backtrack. I'm going too fast. For some, if this is a parent figure, and a family-related dynamic, it could be that looking at people that were in their life and that did directly affect masculine or feminine. This can also be a mother and tribe energy. This can also, I'm also seeing if this karmic energy for some of you is a family, right? It could be in those instances, this person is having a huge revelation to do with the spiritual connection. And there's, it was like they were inadvertently living through you, but now they're having peace with it, but they know they can't turn time back. There is regret towards the way they were maybe treating you. That's one message coming through. The other is those that are in a karmic relationship, and maybe this situation is fresh or old. Regardless, they know they can't turn time back, but they also know they were living on borrowed time. When they do look back in hindsight, we do look at the middle row, and it's the feminine, which is more the emotional side of things, looking back towards the past with cycles. And it's like having to boss up, having to actually take action. Maybe their roles and responsibilities they weren't directly adhering to. And maybe it could be, sixth house can be health, their wellness, unable to achieve certain things due to wellness situations going on that had really hindered them moving forward. So they're looking back and, regretful that when they had the power, they didn't make those choices, that they could have been in a very different situation. Let's pull a clarifier for the crowning energy. Forgetting who you are. Yeah, almost being their own worst enemy. It feels as though they're like resentful towards their choices. Okay, what are they moving away from, please? Ignoring things. Yeah, definitely ignoring things. It's coming up too loud. It's almost like, even if they aren't particularly spiritual in nature, and it doesn't mean we're not spiritual, we all are in some shape or form, but it's the guidance. It's actually listening to the intuition and honoring the fact that we're feeling something, because it's nagging at us like a child at our legs screaming at us, and we're really ignoring it. Yeah, the fact that things haven't changed and that there's a lot of space between, especially those in a karmic relationship. It's like almost two ships passing in the night. They're not with the same ideal systems. They're hanging out, so to speak. They were for a long time hoping to God that a reunion between the twin flames was not going to happen. And again, as I mentioned, it was almost like they felt they were living on borrowed time. For a while there, they were realizing, how do I explain it? They were realizing that, it was a problem. When they do look back, they do know the connections there. They also feel, pardon me, I told you throat chakra. It's because they don't know how to express this, but it's a bitter pill to swallow. Gosh, I knew this was there, but I still went in where angels fair to tread. Now, the other thing I'm seeing is, it's their worst nightmare for you guys to come together, but at the same time, they know that they're not happy with where they're at. So they're kind of wondering, why am I fighting for this? They also feel once they make this decision, there's no turning back. So they're being very cautious with it. They do feel that the person that is involved with them, to a degree, is very leveled up now, very consistent, trying to do the very best they can and having a right to ascend. I do feel they're quite career-driven, goal-orientated. They're trying to be fair. They're definitely doing the very best, but there is something in the mix that isn't matching. And it can't all be, it's sort of like there's no iron team. Do you get what I'm saying? So they're realizing where their error was in this connection in the first place. And, ultimately, without a feminine or a masculine getting themselves involved in this person did have an opportunity to correct patterns, to correct the situation. So it's almost like if they go further into the commitment, they got the enemy card, and it's like the enemy happens to be them if they're not doing their due diligence in the connection. It's not another person that's sabotaging, it's directly themselves. Okay, so it's almost tea time. What do we have here? Yeah, something is coming to an end. This is an 8. This is very Pluto energy, Pluto direct, really ushering us in to let things go instead of waiting for things to happen to us. And inevitably, I feel it's almost like they have a choice there. They can honor what it is. They can address the pain body experience and what the circumstance is, or it's going to happen to them, and they know this. They also know that counterpart is very unhappy. They're doing their darndest to give this person a hand, but they're not learning. They're not leveling up. And so they're actually seeing the error of their ways in this. I just feel these people are on both two different paths, and it's very bittersweet. They wish they could turn time back. They want their freedom. There could be, for some, a little bit of rebellion and irresponsibility, waiting for another person to kind of fix their plan. hoping to God that they can maybe rejuvenate the connection, even though they feel it's too far gone. They also feel counterpart is not actually putting any more energy in. There's nothing they can do. There's certain circumstances that can't be turned about. And that it is something now in them that has changed, not just counterpart. Yeah, there could be moves of home. Okay, so what is this dispute coming up that they're trying to avoid? This could be a divorce for some of them. It could be a legal contract. Again, I can't advise you legally. Oh, they're not wanting to show us. Let's go again. Some of them could be to do with money, ability to work. Divorces, definitely. Yeah, it's this person's shut them out. This person is disconnecting. Now, it doesn't mean that the person isn't giving their due diligence in the relationship, not necessarily. But I do feel this person is the one that's changed, is the one that sees that they're trying to make something what it's not. Yeah, some of them may lose a job. Some of them may need to apply for a job very quickly because they do see the tower coming. And they're not using their power. They're kind of resting on their laurels that this is there, even though deep down their intuition knows. Just giving good faith to a thing, but not actually doing anything. Then they're not going to be surprised when the tower falls because they do see counterpart going in a different direction. And they're not actually committing to their own life. So this is a recipe for disaster. I do feel the person is pulling their power away from the situation. I also feel there's only so much they can do. They can be very depressed at this point in time. Both parties are miserable. Miserable as hell. Nobody's taking from them. It's over. It's like literally come to a head. And again, we have the Christmas card. Okay, something definitely is going down. So stay tuned. The Christmas card came up on the cycles. This person is running out of time. This is going to potentially really be a bittersweet Christmas for them if they do not see eye to eye. And it's almost like two ships sailing in the night, hanging out, pretending. If you do want a private booking and you want me to channel your direct twin flame connection, the link is directly below. Otherwise, feel free to come and join us at the lives for a super chat. And for a limited time, we do have sales up from time to time. So subscribe to the website and I'll see you on the other side. Take care, beautifuls.